Hi, my name is Joe Luciano. I'm a realtor with Bentley's. Today I'm going to go over a little bit of what it's like living in Salem, Massachusetts, and a few things you should know before moving. Salem is a fairly expensive place to live in, primarily due to the cost of housing, both to buy and to rent. While Massachusetts is more expensive to begin with, Salem is especially desirable for both buyers and renters. The range in the past 12 months for a 3-bed, 2-bath, single-family home in Salem has been $390,000 all the way up to $950,000. The median was $600,000 and the average was not too far behind at $598,000. Even looking at condos in Salem over the past 12 months for the exact same size, a 3-bed, 2-bath, the range was $416,000 to $820,000. They had a median of $537,500 and an average of around $562,000. Now, if you were to rent a 3-bed, 2-bath home the same size, over the past 12 months, the range for 3-bed, 2-bath rentals in Salem was $2,400 to $3,950. The median for the rentals matching that criteria was $3,000 a month, and the average was a little bit higher at closer to $3,100 a month. Salem does have a pretty large variety of housing types, housing styles, so you can find things at varying price points. As I think that range shows with the high and low both being so far apart is, there is something for people at different price points, but that minimum for like an average style home is fairly expensive compared to other places in the state and other places in the country. The atmosphere of Salem is a unique blend of history, culture, and modern living. As the site of the infamous Salem witch trials in the 17th century, the city has a rich historical heritage that is celebrated through many of its museums, tours, and events. Despite its rich history, Salem is a bustling and vibrant city with a thriving arts and cultural scene. It is home to numerous galleries, theaters, and music venues, and hosts many festivals and events throughout the year. These include Salem Jazz, Soul Festival, and the Salem Arts Festival. Salem is also known for its diverse and eclectic dining scene, with many restaurants and cafes, offering everything from traditional New England seafood to international cuisine. Given Salem's history with the witch trials, Salem is a Halloween destination. During the month of October, the city transforms into a hub of spooky events and activities, drawing visitors in from all over the world to experience Salem's famous Halloween festivities. These festivities include haunted happenings, the Salem Horror Fest, the Psychic Fair and Witchcraft Expo, and the Festival of the Dead. Halloween is a huge draw for Salem tourism. People that live in Salem will see this tourism throughout the year, and it will especially pick up during the month of October. What this means for residents is that there will be a lot of traffic during the month of October, even a little bit of September, and probably into November as well. Parking will be especially tough, and streets will be closed periodically throughout the month for different events. Buying a home in Salem is probably one of the more competitive markets in the North Shore. There's people that live in Salem and want to stay in Salem, and then there's also people from out of state that are looking to move into Salem as well. And the thing with Salem compared to its neighboring towns is there's a lot of people that only want to live in Salem. They don't want to live in one of the next door towns. So towns like Beverly, Danvers, and Peabody, someone might be willing to compromise going from Peabody to Danvers or vice versa. That's less the case in Salem. More people are focused on only living in Salem, especially for the history, the events, and the overall vibe that Salem has to offer. Salem is broken down into several different neighborhoods. North Salem is basically around Margin Street, north of Bridge Street, so before you cross into downtown over the bridge. Within North Salem, you have Mack Park and Northfields. Gallows Hill is a small slice just west of North Salem, bordering Peabody, and this is where you would find the park, as the name might suggest, Gallows Hill Park. Witchcraft Heights is another small neighborhood right next to Gallows Hill, so just west again, also bordering Peabody, where you would find the Witchcraft Heights Elementary School. West Salem is the rest of Salem that's west of Highland Ave that wasn't cool enough to get its own name. Gallows Hill and Witchcraft Heights are both kind of part of West Salem, but they're distinguished within it. This whole area of Salem is much more rural than the rest of Salem. You'll find more colonials or newer construction properties that are, 10, 20 years old versus 200 years old. Downtown Salem is the part between the Salem Common and Washington Street where you'll find a majority of the businesses, restaurants, and happenings in Salem. Just outside of downtown is the McIntyre District. This is the historical district where you'll also find the Chestnut Street District. The McIntyre District is opposite of Summer Street, and this is where you'll find a lot of those grand federal Salem mansions. Then you have the Point and Salem Waterfront. The Point is off of Congress Street where you'll find the Pickering Wharf Marina, and then across from the wharf, almost adjacent to the Point, is where you'll find the Salem Waterfront. Then of course you have Salem Neck, which is where you'll find the Salem Willows. Then finally we have South Salem, which is between Canal Street and Lafayette Street, which goes down towards Loring Ave and then Vinnon Square in Swampscott. Driving to Boston from Salem is not the best. Just this morning, for example, it was over an hour to get into Boston, despite being only a 15-mile commute. For reference, driving from Newburyport, which is 2.5 times the distance to Boston, is about the same amount of time to get into Boston. Luckily, Salem has decent public transportation, including a commuter rail, which gets into Boston in about 30 minutes. Downtown Salem is very walkable, and considering the public transportation that's available, living in Salem without a car would be possible. If you're thinking about moving to Salem, reach out, I'd love to help. Check out my Instagram at Joe's Homes or head over to my website at joes.homes to start searching for your next home.